Welcome back. Welcome back to another installment of Midnights with Marcus Maben, brought to you by TruthTaxes.com. Visit now, thank me later. We got to build on Saturday's effort. I don't know if they can handle a pat on the back sometimes. I don't know if they can handle a pat on the back sometimes. Gary says Mark is going to be wearing a lot of gold to watch the match the new mic until I get it out of my system. Just put up with me. Danny C said he made it live for the evening session. Well, don't worry, Danny. This is going to be a very, very, very quick, short night session. It's going to be a very quick one. Very short show is the plan. To make it as short as humanly possible. How's the sound? How is the sound, y'all? How is the sound? I haven't got listen, I haven't gotten quite used to the new microphone. Jeff Left says the Fabio news is so settling. Settling or unsettling? Sound is great. Roy's in the building. What's good? Let me run through the hold on. Let me run through the guests of the midnight as quick as I can. Tyrone in the house. Dwayne, Fabian, Cashmere, Charles, what's good? King Dom, glad you could make it out, man. Lawrence, of course, in the building, ready to get the Richard in. Dwayne, Jocelyn, prayers. Okay, yeah, Michigan State's campus. Yeah, prayers for sure. Craig J in the building. It was good to meet you, Craig J. Appreciate you coming by the BW3s. Hold on. King Dom, hold on. Let's catch up a little bit. And all the ladies for sure. Nolan Smith did a great job on the KP show tonight. Has anybody sent me the link? Has anybody sent me to the link? The link is madefortheville at Gmail. MadeForTheville, madefortheville at Gmail. Yeah, I'm gonna get the gold out of my system. It won't last, y'all. Just like I said, just tolerate me for a little while. just tolerate me a little bit. So y'all don't trust it. You don't trust the show is going to be short? Oh, I see what you're doing. What up? Right. Look, you mean settling because KP sounds like he knows what he's doing? Or listen, because watch how that gets spun. How much we betting on time? Well, you just never know. Give me estimated time. Hold on. You got to sing some James Brown. Fabio got to get it together. That's a fact. Oh yeah, that was Walter. Actually, we had talked about that, so that was more of an alley-oop, and he totally delivered. What is the news? There's always news, Falon. Always news. Bruno Maben tonight. I don't mind being Bruno Maben tonight. Kyle Hazelwood in the building. Red State. Iowa has more quad one wins than UK, Duke, and NC combined. My goodness. Last night was pretty fun. Good. Oh yeah, facts. I had a good time. Kevin, I appreciate you. So I do have the link now. There was one hell of a stat. I was scared he was leaving. They're gonna be held to a higher standard, y'all. He is not gonna let them. He is not gonna let them have bad habits. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Fabio's not gonna play till he does everything right. Billy, okay, appreciate it. Appreciate it. I know on your end, everybody might have to turn up your volumes a little bit. When I read the meter, it's not very high on the volume, but um, we try to be. I'll try to enunciate and project, and all those audio words to use. Hold on, I didn't hear the shade. Do I need to just go straight to it? Oh God, right? say, 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 let's go ahead and start the fight now. Okay, let me go. Let me see. I might have had the link already. You know what, Kevin? Since you went to the trouble, I'll actually make sure I use your link. Oh man, there is man. You really, 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 you see really, really some people showing their rear ends. You really get to see people showing their rear ends lately. Hold on. People are really starting to show their rear ends when they listen. Mm, 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 mm. Gary Crump says Fabio's ass didn't even get to make the road trip. Meet the bench. Ass meets bench. For the kids watching, hey, comment out. Banner compromise, baby steps. Listen, of course it is. But listen, I'm telling you right now, it's the same voices, it's the same machine, it's the same mechanism that makes us feel like we're always in more trouble. The same. Do y'all realize? Do y'all realize? I wish y'all could go back and listen to how little Kentucky basketball was talked about today. Go listen to how little, even if it was talked about, it wasn't promoted like we're going to talk about it. If you went down a Kentucky basketball rabbit hole, it just happened. Oh, and listen, I swear, y'all should play a drinking game on if you say something negative about Kentucky, you have to immediately bring in Louisville within the next 3 sentences. If I told you to take a shot every time you heard a negative comment about Kentucky and there's a mandatory comment about Louisville within 3 sentences, we'd all be drunk all day and night. I mean, no talk about how miserably disappointing the entire Kentucky season has been. Like, none of that. None of that. None of that. It was disgusting. It's just disgusting. Look. I told Steve there has to be a law. I said it on the radio. There has to be a rule that we don't know about. That you are not to ever speak negatively about Kentucky and the only thing you can do is make sure you drag Louisville into every negative Kentucky statement. and you can never give Louisville a reason to laugh, ever. My God. They were preseason number 3. So now the new rule is every time you talk about Cal's coaching, you have to bring in Kenny Payne some kind. In Kenny Payne's first year of a rebuild, you have to compare Kenny Payne's first year of his rebuild to Cal, who has the returning player of the year and a complete roster and a preseason number 3. You have to compare them and put them in the same boat. You can't say, like, there's no way you can say Kenny Payne will get better, or, you can't, nothing. None of that's allowed. None of that's allowed. We're going to Nolan. Yes, of course we can go with a Nolan. I really like Nolan Smith. I hope all y'all get a chance. I hope all y'all get a chance to talk to him in person. I hope all y'all, I pray that all y'all get the opportunity to talk to him in person. He is a extremely straight shooter. Baby, and that is pretty funny. That is pretty funny. Let's see how we're going to do this, y'all. This is what we're going to do. We're going to boom, 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 boom. Just make sure y'all get we'll take that one a little bigger.
Sports in your hand this year with the brand new Varsity Network app. Here live.
How's the volume?
Your favorite teams and audio broadcasts, no matter where you are, with this free new app. Be sure to download the Varsity Network app today. This March, you can listen to exclusive Westwood One coverage of the NCAA men's and women's basketball tournaments for free on the Varsity app. Powered by Learfield.
I'm telling you, I'm just starting to realize how many people they don't even care if we win or lose. They just want their people in there.
Championships.
That goes for coaches, ADs, everything. They just want their people in there. If they can't control what's going on in the program, they don't support the program. That's what a lot of stuff turned into.
Attention, stations on the network. Our broadcast will begin in 2 minutes from my mark. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. That was your 2-minute time check, stations.
Let's just say this. I may or may not know all the details that went into every part of the banner. Repeat, the banner conversation. Let's just say hypothetically, I may or may not know everything that went into that process. And they're doing everything they can with the banner situation. They have an entire game. They've had an entire game. They are working their ass off over there. They know what they're doing. They are in lockstep with Kenny Payne. Everybody's in lockstep. Anybody who's messaging
attention, stations on the network. Our broadcast will begin in 1 minute from my mark.
True.
In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. That was your 1 minute time check, stations.
There's always somebody who's not happy with something, but as a whole, they are in lockstep on the direction of the program. And people who's it's not their guy in there, they're willing to lie to you and say there's chaos when there's not. I saw it with my own. I've been seeing it with my own squad. It's very disappointing too. And I'm not gonna be around for like wait, let me rephrase that. Yeah, we'll come back to that later.
On the Louisville Cardinals Sports Network from Learfield, this is the Kenny Payne Radio Show. Brought to you by Roosters, a fun casual joint. Also brought to you by Commonwealth Credit Union, official credit union of the University of Louisville. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Bud Light, it's for the fans. LG&E, our energies go to serving you. And by U of L Health, official healthcare provider of the Louisville Cardinals. Now live from Roosters, here's the Hall of Fame voice of the Cardinals, Paul Rogers.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Kenny Payne Show. We are at Roosters, located out of the Springhurst area, as we get ready to head into another week of Cardinal basketball, a week in which Louisville has a lot of work to do and some big challenges ahead with games coming up against Virginia and Clemson at home, and then actually a quick turnaround a week from tonight. They'll be playing on the road at Duke. And speaking of Duke, our guest tonight with Kenny Payne out on the recruiting trail is Nolan Smith, who knows a little bit about Duke. We'll maybe get into that a little bit later on.
That's not true.
But assistant coach Nolan Smith coming here with Coach Payne, here to fill us in on all that's going on here tonight on our program. Nolan, first off, welcome. You're going to face the firing squad here tonight.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Send the questions up your way. Let's start with the immediate past, and that was the game you guys had at Miami. And I know the goal is to win each and every game. But short of that, you want to see guys come out, play hard, play together, play well. And I thought that might have been the best game you played, considering the opponent and considering the fact that you had a lot of guys come in and play well, which frankly has been a hard thing for you guys to get to happen this year.
No, absolutely. It was definitely our most complete game, offensively, defensively, following the game plan. Guys really attacked that. And I think when you do that, you're able to come out and score the ball. I mean, we had a lot of connected plays. Obviously, had Ellis going off for a big game. I think he finished with 33 points or whatever it was. But everybody contributed. Everybody made plays. And you know, that's our approach heading into every single game. Like you said, we think and believe we're going to win every single game. That's how we approach. That's how we game plan. And if our guys just continue to have that energy, you know, this energy is about one game at a time. And right now, we really just want to ruin somebody else's selection Sunday and make their Sunday come March Madness a bad day.
If you can be happy, make as many as other people unhappy as you can.
That's it.
Yeah, I thought Miami and Pittsburgh, in a sense, have a lot of things in common. Now, the one difference in them, I would say, is I don't think Miami is quite the physical bully team that Pittsburgh likes to be. But in terms of talent, versatility, experience, that's a huge key.
No,
so how do you sort of explain the very competitive game you played against Miami and frankly, a very non-competitive game that happened to you at Pittsburgh?
No, I think you hit on the head. There's two different teams. Miami is definitely more finesse, more scoring team that's going to get up and down. Pittsburgh is more bully ball, and then just obviously a big-time three-point shooting team. And they just came out, and we didn't stick to the script as far as taking away threes. And then all of a sudden they've started the game with a three, then another three, then another three. And I think our team's confidence just continued to get lesser and lesser. And then all of a sudden you see our body language change. And that's what we've been trying to work on with this group all year long is no matter what's going on, your body language has to remain the same. You have to continue to fight, be competitive, and hit back. And in that game, there was no fight. There was no hit back. And we just basically took the L. But in the Miami game, we fought back. We took their punches. We fought back. We made our shots. They made their shots. They made their runs. We made our runs. That's what basketball is all about. And learning to continue to do that to end this season will be a good showing for this group and this team.
You certainly did not get off to the start you were wanting to at Miami when all of a sudden 2.5 minutes into the game you're down 10-0. But as you said, that was an occasion where you guys didn't just sag.
Yes.
They fought right back and climbed right back into that game.
Yes.
What did you as coaches do and what did the players do to keep from what happened at Pittsburgh from happening at Miami?
Just continue to talk about it. And I think the main thing is our players were talking about it. Our players were the ones that made the change. You know, coaches, we can say things until we're blue in the face. But at the end of the day, the guys on the court have to make those adjustments, have to hold each other accountable and communicate and say, hey, we're not going down this road again. So therefore, they after getting down 10-0, they came out and then started to make plays, started to attack, started to be the aggressors in the game. And then all of a sudden you saw a change.
The Miami game was a fun game to watch. It was the up and down flow that I think most people enjoy most when they're watching basketball.
Yep.
Coach Payne had talked about it is hard for you guys to win in a you score, we score game because you got to make some stops. Nonetheless, there are going to be games that are that way.
Yep.
And to see you, I mean, you won a game at Western Kentucky, scoring, 93? You scored up in the 80s the other night. So is this team equipped to play that kind of game if you have to, do you think?
Well, we're making shots, but our identity, which we've been trying to find all year long with this group, is defense. At the end of the day, we have to get stops. We can't get in a scoring match with other teams. We have to defend. We have to get more stops than they get. We have to get 3 stops in a row. Then we have to do it again and again and again. And that takes toughness. That takes a will to stop somebody. That takes a confidence to stop somebody. The games that we have coming up, we have to play defense. Virginia's a big-time defensive team. We know Duke's going to play defense, but we have to play defense. Clemson's a defensive team. We have to play defense better than they do in order to win the game. We can't get in a scoring match.
I think most of us are familiar with the term kill, which is 3 consecutive defensive stops. I had not really heard Kenny talk about that, though, until this game, but that is something that you guys chart and keep close tabs on.
Yeah, this was probably the first game that we actually did it.
Okay, that makes sense, I guess.
We've been trying to get them, but you can't talk about it until you do it. But I think this was our first game with multiple kills. And, your defense looks good when you do that. So it was good to see us do it especially against a scoring team with Isaiah Wong and Nigel Pack and Jordan Miller. If we can do it against them, then we can feel like we should be able to do it against any team in the league. So that, again, that just takes a focus and a will to go out there and do it. You can't show a team what they think they're getting ready to play. If they think they're getting ready to play a soft, non-defensive minded team, don't disappoint them. Give them the opposite. Give them toughness. Give them a fight. Show them grit. Then that's going to knock them back. And now you kind of have them where you want them in order to have a chance to win the game like we just did.
One of Coach Payne's favorite words, and I know you're in on it too, is connected.
Yep.
You have to be connected at both ends of the floor for sure. But I think maybe you mostly think of that as being on the defensive end where all the guys are connected with each other. How do you get guys to understand the concept of that and then to execute that concept?
Yeah, it's a daily process. And in order to be connected, you have to talk. Talking, communication makes you connected. It brings together on the court, on the offensive and defensive end of the court. And this year's group is trying, but they're naturally a very quiet group on the court. And I think you see that because that's where you see so many defensive breakdowns and mental mistakes because there's no talk. You have to talk. And we say it every single day in practice. Talk, communicate, talk out your ball screen coverages, talk out your X and out and what you're doing defensively. You have to communicate, and that's how you're going to be connected.
It's very important. It's very important. I agree, Paul's a legend. Sometimes when you see guys talking to the coach, right? While Kenny Payne is rebuilding this thing, while this coaching staff is rebuilding basketball player mentalities, he just talked about how naturally, like none of these guys they're not shit talkers. None of these guys are really talkers. They're not even communicators. So when you see a guy talking, quote unquote, talking back to Kenny Payne, he's forcing them to be talkers. I don't care if it's me. I don't care if it's anybody. You need to speak up and say what's on your mind. People will turn that into, they got no respect for Kenny Payne. They're talking back. That's not how it is. When you're teaching somebody, when you're trying to bring out somebody's confidence, when you're trying to bring out somebody's maturity, it's like telling the kids something and then they walk away and with their head down. And sometimes you have to tell that kid, no, you tell me what you were thinking right now. You tell me why you did that decision. Tell me why you did that. Speak to me with emotion. Put your shoulders back. Put your head up. We're both men. Talk to me like a man. Be a man. Talk to me like a man. That's the kind of transition these kids are going through right now. And I think it's important for people to know there is a method to when you see coach player back and forth. This is not disrespectful back and forth. This is talk to me. Talk to me so you can talk to them, so you can talk, so everybody can start talking. Y'all can't be quiet young men and go. You can't. You won't do shit in life if you can't speak up to me, speak up to them. You can't do anything. You're not going to be successful. So this is what they're going through right now. Great point.
If you don't communicate, you're not connected, you're disconnected. And now the offensive team, they find holes. That's how they attack you.
I heard Coach Jameson actually in one of your practices. This really struck me. He said, "Your voice is an extra defender."
Yes.
Every coach wants his team to talk a lot on the defensive end. There's two things involved in that. One is you got some guys who just, it's not natural to speak out or to be vocal. And then I've often wondered, particularly late in the game when, frankly, you're huffing and puffing for air, is it hard to talk through that? Yeah,
no, that's when most people stop talking. But there's one thing I can say is I do believe we're the most in-shape team in the country, which is why you've seen us at the end of games make our runs, where teams are maybe think it's over or they start getting tired. Our guys are in great shape, amazing shape in order to finish games. That's when where we want our guys to be at their best and at their strongest. So if you can now add talk to that, you're going to be in a position to win those games.
I know Kenny made the point that he felt the big comeback you had the last 10 minutes of the Florida State game. He attributed a lot of that to your conditioning. And it's not just the preseason conditioning. You guys, to a great degree, condition throughout the year as it goes along, don't you?
No, we haven't stopped. We haven't stopped. And we take care of our guys' bodies. They get massages. They have Normatex. They have all the good stuff to make sure they're taking care of themselves. But we're going to run. We're going to condition. These guys want to be big-time athletes and play for a long time. You have to be in shape. You have to love running. You have to love conditioning. And once you get to that point, you feel really good about yourself. You feel confident that you're in the best shape of your life.
I think that's one of the things that particularly you and Danny and Milt Wagner, Reese Gaines are on the staff too. But when players, and I think this mainly goes back to before the season actually began, and you're in that grueling conditioning program, and maybe players are thinking, gosh, why is it this hard? Why do I have to do this? But from experience and the level of achievement you guys have, you could kind of tell them, this isn't bogus here, folks. I could tell you this is what we went through to get to where we were, and it's what it takes to get there.
Absolutely. You have to go through hard times. If your dream is to play in the NBA, you have to continue to work hard. You have to do stuff that most people don't do. And it's going to be painful some days. Preseason is going to be painful. You're going to hate it. You're going to hate us as coaches that we're putting you through it. But like you said, we all been through it. We have 5 guys that played in the NBA right here. So we can sit here and tell you we did it. It's probably worse than what you're doing right now. It's part of the grind. It's part of the process. And you have to be in love with the process in order to really get what you want from this game.
I think that's one of the things that Coach Payne has talked about with us here on occasion when we've talked about his time in the NBA, and you can speak to this too. I don't know that people realize and understand how hard those guys work. Yes, they're superb athletes and phenomenal basketball players, but they don't just coast to get there. They got there by working, and they keep working, don't they?
Yes, they do. And to get to that level, you're really, really unique as far as how you work, how you train, how you eat, the lifestyle that you live. You're very unique. And so many young men and young women today, they say, I want to play in the NBA or WNBA. Well, it's not easy. It's not easy. And, to sit here as one of, 4,700 to play in the NBA, it did not come easy. And the sacrifice that you have to make in order to do that every single day in practice, once you get to the high college levels, on top of your schoolwork, it's a grind, and that takes a discipline and a focus that you have to have every single day to be successful.
Talking with Louisville assistant basketball coach Nolan Smith, who is with us while Coach Payne is out recruiting. We'll come back and talk more. By the way, if you'd like to send up a question, there are some question forms out here. Fill those out, put your name on it, and we'll draw after the show for an autographed basketball we're going to give away after the show. And we have plenty of posters up here as well if anybody likes to come up and get one. We'll take a break and be back with Nolan Smith. This is Cardinal basketball from Learfield.
Hey, Cards fans, it's Kyle Keurig here. I had LASIK at the Eye Care Institute with Dr. John Meyer. I want to let you know that Dr. Meyer wrote
straight to the point.
Insider Secrets to help you choose the right LASIK surgeon. To find out how you can get a copy of Dr. Meyer's book so you can see if LASIK is right for you, or to schedule your exam with the official eye care providers of the Cards, call the Eye Care Institute at 589.
Y'all got to listen to people who don't know shit
Institute at 589
about developing a team or developing players or again. People who
Honda
have
inventory is here and ready for you. Save thousands with 1.9% financing on new Hondas. That's 1.9% on the 22 Honda Passport, 22 Honda Pilot, and 23 Honda Ridgeline. Don't miss it. Honda selection,
cars, trucks, SUVs, and Honda savings with 1.9% financing on Passport, Pilot, and Ridgeline. Search your local Honda dealer today.
Not just the staff, like I'm telling you,
2/28/2023.
the AD.
Have you tried Prairie Farms Rich and Creamy Premium Small Batch Ice Cream? Prairie Farms Premium Ice Cream is made in small batches with real milk and cream sourced from local dairy farms. It's available in 29 delicious flavors like our award-winning peanut butter banana or cherry chocolate funk. Prairie Farms Premium Ice Cream is the perfect treat before, during, or after the game. Now available in pints for that perfect me time indulgence. Visit prairiefarms.com/drinklocal and enter for a chance to win weekly dairy prize packages. Support local dairy farmers. Drink local with Prairie Farms.
Another season of women's and men's college sports is underway. Follow your alma mater or favorite team in their pursuit of the prestigious Learfield Directors Cup at L Directors Cup on Twitter and online at thedirectorscup.com. Trophies will be awarded in June 2023 to the winning institutions in all competitive divisions. Learfield Directors Cup, the crowning achievement in college athletics.
Okay, lucky shirt, lucky socks, lucky seat, all set. Let's go Cards.
Some card fans believe in superstition and luck, but the winning teams at LG&E and KU believe in planning. Planning for tomorrow while providing safe, reliable energy you can count on today.
Wait, where's my lucky hat?
And that kind of forward thinking brings new ways to make your life easier, like outage texting, paperless billing, and custom bill notifications.
Sit right here. I saved you the seat.
Lucky me.
LG&E and KU. Our energies go to serving you.
PNC Bank is proud to serve and celebrate the places we call home. And to share that pride, we're helping you put your passion front and center with the University of Louisville PNC Bank Visa Debit Card. We're proud to be part of the Louisville community. PNC Bank. See how we can make a difference for you at pnc.com/Louisville. Visa is a registered trademark of the Visa International Service Association and used under license the PNC Financial Services Group, Inc. All rights reserved. PNC Bank National Association member FDIC.
Hey, Louisville fans! If you root for all things Louisville, then you'll love Fisher's, the smile-making people. Louisville original since 1904. Fisher's hot dogs, bacon, bologna, and lunch meat have delighted Cardinals fans for over a century. Our time-honored recipes will have your little Cardinals fans cheering at breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So remember, Louisville first, Cardinals forever, and Fisher's at mealtime. Learn more at smilemaking.com or follow us on Facebook.
I know you want to skip through commercials.
I think that was a red-tailed hawk. Pretty awesome.
Kentucky is home to nearly 1,000 species of animals, and many of these need our help.
Funding just isn't keeping up.
However, you can help out.
You can help save these species by becoming a member of Kentucky Wild.
When you join, you'll be directly supporting wildlife facing threats across our state.
And there's some pretty good perks for you, too.
To find out more, visit fw.ky.
With games, everything like that. And I keep up
to honor the 23rd.
Visit fw.ky.gov/KYWild.
Welcome back to the Kenny Payne Show. Paul Rogers here visiting with assistant coach Nolan Smith, who has joined us tonight. Louisville will have a couple of home games this week. Virginia on Wednesday night. Nolan will give us some details about the Cavaliers if you need any. I think everybody knows Virginia is Virginia. They always are. Then Clemson next Saturday, which will be a special night where they're going to honor the 2013.
Brad, I'm gonna have to go back and watch that.
And then the Cards go.
Brad,
back on the road,
I just saw your email.
Monday game at Duke. I'm assuming you'll have the Duke scout as well, since you probably know a little bit about them.
Yeah, I think I will.
Is it hard? Not hard, because I know you're all in for Louisville, but do you watch Duke maybe with a little more interest than you watch other teams still, because you were connected there for a long time?
No, I really don't. I really don't. I've been just so busy with games, everything like that. And I keep up with a lot of players there. You know, once I recruit a player, they're part of my family. So I still try and keep up with the stats and watch those guys, make sure they're handling their business, make sure they get to where they're trying to get to. So I'm obviously still a big brother to many of those players, but you know, just really,
I keep up with all the players at Duke,
obviously very excited,
but I don't watch the games.
Go down there with me, and you know, obviously go down there trying to shock the world.
Not to get ahead of ourselves too much, because you got a couple more games since then. But just in watching Duke, I really think they have obviously elite talent. But I think the way they got pretty much smoked at Miami last week is just such a classic example of how important experience is and being older now in college basketball.
Experience is definitely needed, and I think we're getting ready to play against one of the, I think probably top 5 old teams in the country in Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they have 2 fifth years, 2 graduate students, and a junior in their starting lineup. They're very old. They're very experienced. You have the COVID years. They've guys back on the COVID year. So it's an old team. And if you watch Coach Bennett, Tony just sits there and kind of lets them play. You know, he doesn't have to say much. They know their defense. They know their offense. He doesn't really have to coach, and that's a beautiful thing to have at this level, because you trust your players to
We're the youngest inexperienced team in all of college basketball.
Older guys on the team, where we just went out there and we played basketball. So there's definitely something to it when you have older and experienced guys.
That's interesting you say that, because I think most people would assume that Coach Krzyzewski kept a tight rein on everything and everybody, and I'm sure he does. But yet, any coach, when he knows he has the seasoned players that can do things, can kind of sit back and let them do their thing.
You sit back and let players play. Our job is done once you leave practice. Once you get to that game, they know the game plan. They know what they're supposed to be doing. They talk about it. They be about it. They execute, and then they make the plays.
Well, speaking of that, what do you guys as assistants have specific roles you take during games, and might that vary, like what your role was at Duke as opposed to your role here? Because I don't know, maybe Kenny doesn't want a lot of input from people. Maybe he kind of wants to think for himself, or maybe he does want somebody to come and say, Coach, check this, check that. How does that? What's your role during a game? I guess what I'm getting at.
I have complete freedom. Kenny Payne gives complete freedom during huddles, timeouts, to speak our minds, say we won. My focus throughout the game, I'm really watching the point guards and the guards and the wings, making sure they know what they're doing, make sure they know the plays, make sure they know their matchups and who they're guarding, how they're guarding them. So I really focused on that. Danny focused on the bigs. Coach Josh helps with the subbings and stuff like that. But we all have freedom to talk, intervene, speak on every single thing that throughout the game, because we are all really good basketball minds, and you can't just be pigeonholed and just, this is my job. No,
we are really good basketball minds.
Speak on it. I'm gonna agree with you or disagree, and the best staffs can agree to disagree. But we still love each other at the end of the day. And there's always gonna be bickering on the staff. You know, that's because we're all competitive. Those timeouts to speak our minds, say we won. My focus throughout the game, I'm really watching the point guards and the guards and the wings, making sure they know what they're doing, make sure they know the plays, make sure they know their matchups and who they're guarding, how they're guarding them. So I really focused on that. Danny focused on the bigs. Coach Josh helps with the subbings and stuff like that. But we all have freedom to talk, intervene, speak on every single thing throughout the game, because we are all really good basketball minds, and you can't just be pigeonholed and just, this is my job. No, if you have something to say on somebody else's thing, speak on it. I'm gonna agree with you or disagree, and the best staffs can agree to disagree, but we still love each other at the end of the day. And there's always gonna be bickering on the staff. You know, that's because we're all competitive. We've all won. We want to win. We're gonna continue to push and compete. That's what makes a great staff.
I can remember going back to the great Denny Crum staffs that he had with guys like Bill Olson, Jerry Jones, Bobby Dotson, those kind of guys. And I mean, they had some pretty good rows in some of their get-togethers. They all had very strong personalities, very strong opinions, but in the end, the boss man has the final say.
He always has the final say.
I got a couple of questions from the people here. This is from Lynn. Wants to know, do you feel more pressure because your dad played at U of
L? No, I do not feel more pressure. My dad played here. I think I feel excitement and joy because my dad played at U of L, and I know that this thing is going to get special real soon. And so to all the fans that have been supportive all year long, thank y'all for sticking with us this year. The good times are coming. I didn't come here for it to be like this, and the Lord didn't bring me here for it to be like this. We're going to win. I promise y'all that. We're going to win.
Has there ever been a point this year? Have you been surprised at how tough it has been this year?
Not surprised. You know, when I got that phone call to come here, Kenny Payne said, nephew, it's going to be hard. Our first year is going to be hard.
Sometimes I think Kenny knew more than all the rest of us about just how hard it would be.
He knew. He knew. And he said, look, get ready, but we're going to get through it. I said, all right, well, let's do this. So
they all had very strong personalities, very strong opinions, but in the end, the boss man has the final say.
He always has the final say.
I like that.
I got a couple of questions from the people here. This is from Lynn. Wants to know, do you feel more pressure because your dad played at U of L?
No, I do not feel more pressure. My dad played here. I think I feel excitement and joy because my dad played at U of L, and I know that this thing is going to get special real soon. And so to all the fans that have been supportive all year long, thank y'all for sticking with us this year. The good times are coming. I didn't come here for it to be like this, and the Lord didn't bring me here for it to be like this. We're gonna win. I promise y'all that we're gonna win.
Has there ever been a point this year? Have you been surprised at how tough it has been this year?
Not surprised. You know, when I got that phone call to come here, Kenny Payne said, "Nephew, it's gonna be hard. Our first year is gonna be hard."
Sometimes I think Kenny knew more than all the rest of us about just how hard it was gonna be.
He knew. Yeah. He knew, and he said, "Look, get ready, but we're gonna get through it." I said, all right, well, let's do this. So I signed on to come home to be a part of this and get through this tough year. It's part of it, but we're loving it. We're loving the process. We're loving our guys. They're working. They're competing. But we know, I mean, good days are going to come, and just gotta get through it.
Winning is the ultimate goal when you're a coach, but also I know coaches get great reward just out of coaching the game and the relationship with young men and as players. So from that standpoint, have you been able to get some enjoyment out of the season?
Absolutely. A lot of enjoyment, because honestly, our players have been really great. You know, good attitudes every single day they come to practice. Not saying every practice has been good, but they come, they work, they get put on the line, they run. There haven't been any issues with our guys. So, I mean, I think that's been a great thing to be able to come to work and say, hey, look, these guys are 3-20 or whatever we are, and they're still coming to work and get on the line. they're fighting. That's all we can ask from a group like this, because it's very easy for a group of young men to put their tail between their legs, put their head down and say, oh, we quit. They have not quit. They're continuing to fight. We tell them every day, look, you're representing someone on your chest and on the back of your jersey. That's big. Don't forget that.
I've told people this quite often. I'm not obviously at every practice, but I try to go periodically. And I think sometimes people think I'm just spouting BS, but I have never seen this team not be engaged. Are they perfect? No. Do they make mistakes? Yes. Do they aggravate you? Yes. You guys too. But I've never seen them not paying attention or acting like they don't care.
No, not at all. They've been engaged. They've been locked in. Like you said, they still mess up. Yes, they have not been perfect, but they've given us that respect, that love, and we've given them that love and respect every single day. And that's called respecting the game. We're not going to disrespect this game. We love it way too much, and I think they love it way too much. Wins or losses, you can never disrespect the game.
This question from Steve, he says, I guess he's talking to big men protecting the ball. I don't recall Bill Walton ever bringing his hands below his shoulders. I think he means, when the ball is in his hands. Is that old school, or is that still valid?
It's definitely still valid, and we have two old school big men and coaches, and Danny Manning and Kenny Payne, that they definitely teach that. You can keep the ball up. It's not old school. That is still very well part of the game today.
You were certainly involved. I don't know to what degree, but in getting Emmanuel Okorafor here. In fact, I think you went out and saw him in Las Vegas. Did you not?
I went to Salt Lake City.
Oh, so okay.
Salt Lake City. Yep, NBA Africa.
So tell me a little about when you first got wind of him and what impressed you about him when you first saw him.
Yep. So just some relationships with NBA Africa, who do an amazing job with young Africans and developing them. They find them at an early age, put them in this program. So we all have good friends there. They give us a call. Hey, we have a kid that we know wants to come to college. We know that can really help you all. And he can either come this year or next year. And we're like, hey, well, if he wants to come now, come on. And he's somebody that I went out to Lake City and and I just saw his energy, his pop, his athleticism, and then just his joy for the game. So we knew he was somebody that we'd be really excited about working with every single day. And he has a huge upside, huge ceiling to get better. And he really wants to work.
Those qualities, the energy, the enthusiasm, the excitement for the game, the willingness to work. I mean, those are all like check on the Kenny Payne list.
Yes, they are, and that's what we're looking for. And once you get a full group full of that, that's when special things happen.
Something that I think might get lost in all this because it's happened so quickly is you think about the road a normal freshman would take. He's
I'm talking about that pimp juice.
He might come to school in May, get through some spring sessions, some summer sessions, both in terms of taking a few classes and, of course, getting acclimated to the school, to the city, to the coaching staff, to his teammates. All these things happen over a period of months. Yeah. He's done this in like 2 weeks.
Yeah. So he got thrown right in the fire. But he came in ready. He had been playing a lot of basketball in Salt Lake City, Vegas. They went and played some more games somewhere else. So he's been playing. So now just getting used to ACC basketball and then come in and be right in the conference play. That's very difficult. But I mean, he's had some really good games. His first game at Notre Dame, I think he finished with 8 and 6. And so he just continues to get better, learn the offense, learn the physicality. Referees are still learning him, because he's new, so they're just now seeing because he's physical. Sometimes he'll get some fouls called, but once they know, okay, this is who he is, they'll start to let some of those go, and we'll start to see.
I didn't know how good it was until I saw your tweet.
He gets called for illegal screens from time to time, and I think Coach Payne saw that coming. But one reason is because he runs so hard into those screens.
He runs hard,
and that's you'll take that, won't you?
You definitely take that. But for me, I yell at the point guards. I yell at the guards because the big man, I want them sprinting to the screens. If the guard waits for the screen, the big man will never get called for, no matter how hard. Unless he just bulldozes the guard over. But I love his energy coming in the screens. Guards just got to be patient and wait for the screens.
There's a game in progress currently. Miami is at North Carolina tonight. They just went to commercial, but I think I saw it was 21-20. Miami with a narrow lead at North Carolina tonight. We'll be back to talk more with Nolan Smith here at Roosters. This is Louisville Cardinals basketball from Learfield.
At Kroger, you can find the highest quality products at a great price in every aisle, every day with Kroger brand. So you can stock up on your household favorites that are tried
and value. That's reason.
Here, you're hard
to argue with. But when Commonwealth Credit Union gets ranked of U of L athletics, legendary food.
We work tirelessly in the mornings and a lot of players.
There's assistant coach Nolan Smith who's filling in while Coach Payne is out on a recruiting mission. Our next show will be next Wednesday, and that'll be a sponsors show at the Keeber Center. That'll be after the Cards get back from the Monday night game at Duke. We will be back here one more time, and that will be on Thursday, March 2nd. That'll be our final show here at Roosters in Springhurst. So those of you interested in coming on out, do exactly that. We'd love to have folks come out and enjoy the visit and ask a few questions, which some people have done here, including this one from JP Nolan, who asks, which player has developed the most over the season?
Oh, that's a great question. I'd probably say I've seen growth in so many of our guys. We do a lot of player development stuff. We work tirelessly in the mornings and then a lot of player development throughout practice. So I think all of our guys individually have gotten better. But now the matter of consistency, that's the question.
Yeah, sure.
But they've all gotten better. JJ Traynor has shown great growth this year. He's really gotten a lot better. Mike James has gotten a lot better as far as being just an overall player, ball handler, just everything. Mike James has really worked his butt off since the summer, really. So yeah, those two guys I probably say the most.
Kamari, who struggled
JJ
so much
Traynor,
in the first half plus of the season, finally seems to have settled into a more comfortable role and is finally making some shots too, which always helps.
Yeah, I mean he's finally decided to catch and shoot, which is a lost art of just catch and shoot. So many players when they come into college, they feel like they have to catch and put the ball down and dribble it before shooting. And sometimes the easiest play is just be ready to catch and shoot, which now he's made that adjustment. He's shooting quicker, being ready to shoot, and he can really shoot the ball. So now he's seeing the shot go in.
JJ Traynor, I do think can be a decent three-point shooter. I think his stroke looks okay, but the fact of the matter is his three-point shot has pretty much deserted him over the last several games. But he's gotten so much better around the rim. I think he leads you in dunks, in fact, but not just in that. He's got that little wheel around in the lane, this little jump hook and the like. So is there ever a point in which you tell a guy, you're not allowed to shoot threes anymore? Yeah. We're just shutting you down on that.
I don't think we'd ever tell a kid not to shoot, but we also show them the film. We show them the numbers and then let them make the decision from there. But he started the year out shooting really good. He was shooting 40+% from three. I think at that point he fell in love with the three.
Maybe.
And I think that's where it started to decrease. So then now you see him going to the basket more and being an athlete that he is. And then once you see some dunks, some layups, some offensive rebounds, you start making those aggressive plays. Now you're going to get a wide open shot. Now shoot that one. I guarantee you it's probably going to go in because you did some dirty work. But if you just fall in love with being a shooter, it's not falling.
It starts with the dirty work. You play better when you think about
shooting over 60% in his 2-point field goals. And speaking of shooting, I mean, Jalen Withers has suddenly become just deadly from the perimeter. Yeah. But he can't, as good as he is, he can't just stand on the perimeter all day. He's got to mix it up a little bit. But you don't necessarily want him doing spin behind the back dribbles to you.
Paul Rogers did
at this point right now, the main thing we don't want to do is turn the ball over.
Yeah, for sure.
And so when they do catch a shoot, it's like, all right, well, we got a shot up. That's exciting. But no, we don't want them to fall in love with threes. We want them to get lane touches, continuous lane touches, 1, 2, 3 lane touches in a possession. Then you're probably going to get a great shot because now you've broken down the defense. You got them in scramble mode. You got them in closeouts. You can drive again. And now
changing the
you do that. You might shoot a floater. You might get a layup once you break down the defense.
If you look at this team, your team early in the year, and look at them now, there's no comparison to how much better they are in their ball movement, their player movement, their spacing, the whole offensive attack and the scheme. The only problem, not the only, but the primary problem, though, has continued to be just throwing the ball away too much. I know you address it. I know you're not practicing to make turnovers. What's the key to trying to get that part straight?
I mean, really, it's just being strong and being smart and seeing things on the court while it's happening. And you can show them film and show them exactly what a defense is going to do. But if you still go out there and try what we're telling you not to do, and then it happens, and you do it over and over and over again, you end up with 22 plus turnovers in a game. At some point, you have to change, and you have to make those corrections in the moment.
This man played under Coach K, y'all.
You have to get a shot every possession. Teams are closing the gap. You got to make the kick. So you said defender might be an extra pass, or it might be one dribble kick, get off the ball. But you should never just give the ball away. I mean, that's for us right now is just getting out of control. But you have to be able to get
all
a
these
shot.
People talking.
I was going to say your actual turnover numbers have come down, particularly in the last 2 games.
In the locker room.
The killers are those ones where you just kind of hand the ball and off they go. That's the points off turnovers that have been the big disparity.
Absolutely. No, you get a team that's really good offensively. They get out in transition. They get a layup. They get a transition 3, and you just give them confidence because you just gave them the ball. We'd rather you kick the ball out of bounds, and now it's a dead ball turnover instead of a run out and then they score. And now you're limiting their points off of transition. But when we look at that stat sheet at the end of the game, you see points off of turnovers, second chance points, and points in the paint. You highlight those 3 things. Those are the 3 categories that we've been giving up way too much. Now, last game we did a better job. We kept them out of transition, and now it's a closer game.
Your 3 wins have come on your home court. So I don't know if it's you would necessarily say you're a better home team than road team, but you played some good games on the road. I don't feel a lot of difference, frankly, whether you're home or on the road the way this team plays. I just kind of, and I've always felt that way, frankly. You just kind of go to a gym and play ball.
Yeah, we just got to hoop. I mean, like I said, our best game just recently versus Miami was a road game. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if it was the sunshine down in Miami, but
bench got to turn up.
Get some sunshine here pretty soon if that's how we're going to play. But our guys came out with a lot of life and a lot of energy down there in Miami. But no, home or away, I think our guys have really seemed the same, which is great. I don't think they've been nervous on the road. They've been excited. They've been the same at home. I think maybe at home they might feel a little more pressure to perform for our fans that are coming out and supporting our guys every single game. But hopefully they shouldn't feel pressure. They should be excited to play and put on a good show for this very supportive fans.
On a typical road trip, for example, you got to Miami. We didn't get to the hotel in Miami till about 9 o'clock at night. So you don't have to worry about killing a lot of time there. I know you have a late dinner, watch the film, and go to bed. Then you get up and you do have some time to spend. I know you go to a shoot around, that takes up part of your morning. You have a couple of meals, that takes up a little time. Some video watching, but there is some dead time there. What did you as a player do to fill those gaps? And what do you want your current players to do?
I took a nap. I always took a nice game day nap to make sure I was at my peak performance come game time, whether it's a 7 o'clock game or 9 p.m. game. There were times, especially in a place like Miami, where I might take a walk. Mm-hmm. Take a walk and just think before taking my nap, just to clear my thoughts and make sure I was ready to play. The whole time. definitely most of the time I'll just make sure I got a good net after shoot around.
Yeah, the hotel where we stayed in Miami was very nice, in a very nice
ate
neighborhood.
A lot of
Actually,
food
that morning I took a long walk around the area. It was a nice neighborhood. It was a nice park.
I never
even saw a pickup basketball game going. I made sure it wasn't any of your guys out there playing. I knew they needed to be resting and the like. But there is that balance of keeping you guys occupied, and yet you can't just constantly throw stuff at it. There has to be, I guess, a little bit of downtime.
No, definitely.
We'll come back, take a break, and have more with Nolan Smith. Louisville with 2 home games coming up this week against Virginia and Clemson. And by the way, North Carolina leads Miami late in the first half at Chapel Hill, 31-28. Miami now up on North Carolina nearing halftime, 30.
Institute at 5'8", 9'15".
If you're not having an outrageously
go down there and make it happen.
That's the last segment.
There's just something really special about tournament basketball, isn't there?
Everybody gets nervous. So one thing we know, we'd have nothing to lose. And when you have nothing to lose, you go down there, just play free, shoot the ball free.
Nothing to lose when
see what
tournament
happens.
time
Other
comes.
teams are going to be maybe
Let's
looking
ruin
to get
people's
to the tournament
day.
build their resumes. We're just going to go down there looking to get a win. So
Greensboro has been kind of a staple of the ACC tournament, but it's been around some. As you played or as you coached, was there a place you enjoyed more having the tournament?
I like Greensboro, but going to Brooklyn has always
I like
been
Brooklyn
fun.
too.
That arena, that energy there. You did Charlotte one time, but Greensboro for me was I think the best. I think I won 2 ACC tournaments there, and then the other one I won was in Charlotte. So
Louisville did not play in it the year they played in Washington, D.C.
Yep.
Of course, you're familiar with that area too, so that would be a good one. It's Greensboro this year.
Then I think back
to
back to New York after that.
And Brooklyn the next year. I think so too, yeah. Steve wants to, we were talking about J.J. Trainor's three-point shot. He says he thinks the shot is a bit flat. How do you correct that?
With a lot of practice in the summertime. Sometimes in season it's hard to change somebody's shot. You don't want them overthinking every time they shoot the ball. But in the summertime, it's as simple as getting his elbow up above his eye. Right now, he has it kind of straight, too flat.
Summertime.
But making that correction will be something that you work on in the summertime.
You don't fix that during the season.
Once he does that, his ball's in the right direction, but it always hits the front rim. And we've definitely been on him about that, of getting it up, using his legs more. And
legs.
Mike James puts a very high arc on his three-point shot.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does. Sometimes too high.
Yeah, can't be.
The trajectory of this shot, you typically want it around 45-degree angle.
They
not
see
too
everything.
High. So just make sure our guys know that.
He sees everything 45 degrees low.
Happy medium here on where it ought to be.
Defensive energy.
When you guys have the individual instruction sessions in the mornings,
everything.
Describe those to us. How long they are and what you said the players through.
If he wasn't talking about this stuff, I'd be mad too.
Pretty quick, normally about 20 to 30 minutes. Trying to obviously stay within our hours that we're allowed per NCAA rules. But it's a lot of skill work, and it's where basically everybody's doing the same thing. So our big men can be working on ball handling and finishing just like our guards. They're working on movements. As of late, been working on 4-on-4 and passing the ball, making 8 passes without dribbling, and really just fundamentals. It's just different thing that we can work on at that time that we don't want to hit during practice time. And it gets them up. It gets them awake. It gets them thinking about basketball early in the morning. Before they start their days and go to class and all that good stuff.
I'm going to tell you a silly little story about
thinking about basketball
how
before they
I
go to
got a
class.
feel one time for what it must feel like to see guys respond to coaching. My son at the time was, 8 years old and was playing basketball. And we went down the basement where there were poles in the basement, and I showed him how to step sideways around a pole and bounce a pass like around a defender. A couple of games later, he did that. And it was like a eureka moment for me to see him do that. And I thought, you know what? It's got to be those things. You work with guys, do it this way, and then when they do it in a game, it's got to be very rewarding.
It's very rewarding. You put in a lot of work and a lot of time. You're coaching, you're teaching. You're hoping that they're retaining information, but some register it faster than others. Sometimes it clicks, sometimes it doesn't. But when it does click and you see it click, and you're able to tell that player, yes, that's it. That's how you do it. And then they smile back at you because they finally got it. It's a great feeling as somebody that's coaching to see that happen. And we've had some moments like that here in the last couple of weeks in these games that we've had a chance to win, and our guys are just continue to grow. now we want some of these now wins to happen in these next couple games and shock the world. We got Virginia, we got Duke, we got a couple opportunities where, again, these teams are fighting for the NCAA tournament rights, and, we can mess up their day. And they're games that we know we can get.
Anytime you're going through drills, whether it's individual sessions or in practice, whatever you're doing, there's two things that I think you obviously are trying to do. One is replicate game situations. We're not going to do this drill unless it's something we want you to use in a game.
Yeah.
And the other thing, and maybe even the harder part, is to do it at game speed. That's maybe the hardest thing to get guys to do is do it
game speed, game urgency.
And for us, if you don't do it at game speed, you got to do it again and again and again and again. You have to do it over. If you don't get it right, do it at the right pace, that we know it's going to work in the game.
That's why practices take so long.
We're cheating you if we don't tell you to do it again, because you're going to try it in the game at your pace.
We're cheating you if
we turn the ball over and we're like,
don't make you do it again.
That's the pace that you work at. No, we're going to hold you to a high standard that you have to work at an extremely high level, extremely high pace every time you get between those lines.
We're going to take our final break and come back and finish up here with Nolan Smith. We'll talk a little bit about Virginia as he's been scouting the Cavaliers. And
these are experts. I don't care what you say. These guys are experts at what they do. I've done it. They're experts. Do I want more wins? Yes. Do I want more all this other stuff? Yes. They're experts at what they're doing. Yeah, they're experts. I think y'all got the point of the interview. Okay, get some sleep, y'all. I'm glad my microphone sound works for y'all. I was going to feel terrible if the microphone wasn't good. Yeah, I saw the NBA highlights. Yeah, I'm going to that. Look, I am totally going to the NBA highlights tonight. No, the pillow's not calling me, but I feel you. I feel what you're saying. Maybe I just need a hug.